Today's little upgrade finds us with the axles out and working under the truck. So what we're going to do, we've had oil leaking out of the center from the bottom studs for quite some time. You can see I've had a go at putting different studs in and different nuts in and different bolts in. It's basically the center's been in and out quite a few times recently. It's just got to the point now where I'm just sick of leaking diff oil everywhere. It's all over the trailer, everywhere I park the car. I've got oil on the ground. I've got to remember to top it up before every drive. We're going to do a stud upgrade kit. We're going to put some bigger studs in. Let me show you what we got. Got some 100 series axle stud bolts, a 10.1.25 tap. Obviously we won't be needing the cone washers for this job, but we'll definitely be using the studs, washers and nuts. And I'll show you what we're going to do. What we need to do first is remove all the studs, all the old studs bar 2, to keep the center in location. Now the way to do that is to put 2 nuts together and then back off the second nut, the nut behind, and you'll pull the thread out. Otherwise, obviously, if you undid the nut will come out and the thread will stay in, as that example there. So that's the easiest way to get a stud out. Quite a tedious exercise, eh? There's 10 studs, and 8 of them have got to come out right now. The 8 holes that we've got there with no studs in them, we're going to drill a 1132 8.73 millimeter hole through the diff center and the housing. First lot of holes is drilled. Now it's time to get that center out. We'll clean all the old gasket goo off, get that surface all nice. We've got to clean as we do this. Otherwise we're going to have metal filings in there from where we drilled, so there's going to be a ton of filings in here. Nice strong magnet should pick up the metal filings off the diff center itself. Yep. Bit of a worry if any of this metal gets into the locker, I think. Just use a knife blade on the housing, get all the old goo off. Tapping the housing now for the new stud to go in. So that's 1 in and 9 to go, but look at the difference in thickness. So you can see that's going to be a much stronger adhesion. They're all in. What I'll do is I'll let that dry overnight, all the Loctite, and tomorrow morning we'll throw the center in. To give myself any chance of these holes being straight, I've mocked up a bit of a pedestal for it to sit in while I drill the holes. Just a milk crate we had laying around and an offcut of melamine, and we just made up a template, cut it out, screwed it together. It just gives me every opportunity to make sure that I'm going in straight. I've also got to remember the 4 o'clock and the 8 o'clock I'm not to drill because they've still got the factory dowels in the housing. It's working well. Again, the use of a magnet to get all the filings out that were still stuck in the housing, and plenty of them, look at that. The diff's in, but now it's got to come back out because we've got to take these 2 original studs back out and put the bigger ones in. More lifting. Final 2 now. Home straight. I feel like I've bench pressed this thing 10 times. Probably been more than that actually. It's in. Sorry, the camera fell then. Look at the size difference from the one that I took out to the one I've put in. I mean, that's massive. So I've got 10 of them now holding that center in. And now we'll just check the airline. Plumbed it in. Okay, I can't hear the compressor running. So we're all good, we haven't damaged the line. That's good. Happy with that. It's been on 10 minutes. I've just been in here again, putting it back on and off. So now that's all done. That upgrade or repair is done. But because we've modified it, now I've got to remember in a comp, I carry the 1 spare center. So I'll have to drill the holes in it if we need it for the rear in a comp. This is where I don't like too many modifications, too much variant in anything original. I'll leave this diff in here until I do damage to a center or an axle, and then I'll look for another housing and just weld on all my brackets to that. So the only reason we did this upgrade is because I couldn't stop it leaking because the old studs had failed. So this was the only way, other than going a complete second-hand housing. Okay, so I'll be looking for another housing for an ln106. If anyone's in the Sydney area and you've got one with axles complete, I don't need the center, I'm interested, PM me down below. Hopefully it was all worth it. I can't wait to get back out on the track. And once again, thanks for watching.